Welcome to Haunt Tech Tips, the source for technical advice to take your haunted attraction to the next level. Here's your host, Chris Gay.
Hey guys, Chris from Haunt Tech Tips here with what we're going to refer to as an emergency podcast. Not sure there's truly such a thing, but this is close enough. Sorry about the audio quality. We're on our field recorder. I'm sitting at the haunt right now. I was doing some late night work. Took a break and was scrolling through Haunters Hangout on Facebook and came across a post from a local haunt. Not going to name them, but they're about an hour from me. They're in Philadelphia. And they're asking about how to get the word out about their new haunt that's opening this year. Of course, on the Facebook post, there were the obligatory flyers, billboards, marketing, and even the don't use radio, it's a waste of money, all sorts of ads like that, or replies like that rather. But I decided to do a little research on the haunt because it's an hour away from me. I like to check new haunts out. So I Googled them and found nothing. I Googled their name and Philadelphia and found nothing. Googled their name, haunted house, nothing. Their name, haunted house, Philadelphia, found nothing. I did find a lot of a haunt in Maryland, Field of Screams, Maryland, and they were using the same image on the Field of Screams, Maryland's page for the haunt's name as the haunt advertising, or asking for how to advertise in Haunters Hangout was using. So as far as Google is concerned, this guy's haunt either doesn't exist, or it's in Maryland, and he's just mistaken that it's in Philadelphia. So with that, essentially, this podcast episode was born because I'd never even fathomed the fact that a haunt could exist and not know how to get on the internet, which nowadays, if a haunt is not on Google, it's not on the internet, it's not on Google Maps, not on Facebook, it essentially does not exist. And that's true for any business. Any person even. I hate to say it, if you're not findable on the internet, people can't check you or your attraction, your business, whatever out. They're not going to travel very far. Flyers are great for local areas, but there's a lot of people that are going to travel, and your flyers are only going to hit a fraction of your target audience, regardless of where you put them at. So nowadays, especially it's 2018, all the websites out there, all the haunt listings, you have to be on the internet or else people are not going to find you. They're not going to be able to interact with you easily. They're not going to be able to find out information about your show they need to know. Is it for adults, kids, families, so on and so forth? So we're going to divide this podcast into a couple different segments. First, getting online. The easiest way to get yourself onto page 1 of Google search results for your haunt's name, today, make a Facebook page. Because somehow Facebook magic has a way of ranking on Google quickly and easily. Most likely because Facebook is a natural way of getting traffic that's interactive, people coming and going, interacting, and that just helps your Google search results immediately. Even if you don't have a web page, if you have a Facebook, it's a start. It gets you on page 1 of Google if someone searches your haunt's name. When you do this, go on Facebook, use your current account, and make a page. You can make yourself the administrator, you can make several people administrators, but it has to be a page. Do not try to fake Facebook out and make a profile for your haunt, because they will eventually kick you off from that. And even worst case scenario, you're just not getting all the benefits that a page has. Pages are meant for businesses, they're meant for personalities. Because if you have a personal Facebook for your haunt, you're very quickly going to be absolutely inundated with friend requests, like notifications, shares, all that which businesses have kind of on the back burner on their Facebook. They can check in on, but it's not going to make their phone light up 24/7. There's also plenty of things on business pages where you can have auto message replies. So say someone messaged you at an hour you're not available to answer, you can have that automatically answer back with, hey, email this address for quick info, or this phone number, go to this website. So there's a lot of tools on Facebook pages. That'll be a different podcast. But make it a page for your business. As soon as you do that, set up an event for every night you're open, or for the run, however you want to do it, hosted by your page. So that way you're not only findable on Facebook, but you're findable whenever someone's searching on Facebook for things to do in your area. So right there, that's 2 ways to be found that are free, easy, and take less than half an hour. And that's going to get you on page 1 of Google, which is absolutely huge. Before I go any further, the reason I keep referring to Google, not only because it's one of the primary search engines out there, but everyone with Android phones, everything on their phone is based around Google. Their searches, their map searches, it's all Google based because Android is essentially a Google product. Now, everyone with an iPhone, that's going to Safari. However, Safari searches are substantially similar to Google searches, so that's why I'm referring to Google here. The next step is purely a Google step. Go on Google Maps, find the address of your business or search for the address of your business and claim it as your haunt. This allows people to search. Again, they can Google the name of your haunt, and not only are they going to immediately see your Facebook page up top, they're going to see your haunt's Google business page, Google Place page, depending how you set that up, off to the right, which gives it a immediate legitimacy on Google, as well as it gives them options once you fill everything out, so they can call you, email you, or get directions to your address. And ultimately, the biggest thing that all of us haunters want is for people to be able to come to our address and be our patrons, see our show. This makes it so much easier for people because they don't even have to go to your website to look up your address. They don't have to do the dreaded copy and paste the address from the website into their GPS or their Maps app. They can click right there, navigate to, and that quickly they Google your name, they see that, they click on navigate, and they're on the way to your door. That's huge. Make sure to set your hours in there. You can set seasonal hours, essentially just set your opening date as the first day you have a business, and then set your hours after that. Make sure to keep up to date with that. You don't want people to think you're open in November, December. It's not a huge deal. Most people will figure it out, but you don't want people knocking at your door in November, obviously. Once you do claim that business, they're going to want to send you a postcard, most likely, at the address of the business to confirm that your business is there. Once you do that, your account is secure. No one can come in and change your phone number or any details about your business, your web address, pictures, so on and so forth. Plus, it gives you a little bit more flexibility on what you can post on your Google Places or business page. But the postcard takes a while. If you don't get that this season, don't worry about it. Just make sure to enter everything that you can possibly. Google does review it just to make sure there's nothing vulgar, nothing totally out of line. But give it a day or so and your Google business location page or places page will be live. Beyond that, Google does an interesting search algorithm. Long story short, somebody searches haunted house in your region. If they're near you, you'll pop up as a place they want to go to. So make sure you do your tags. And that is just another way people can find you without even knowing you exist. And for a brand new haunt, that is massive, is being findable as a haunted house, not just your haunt's name. Because it takes a lot more money to get a haunt name out there than it does to get haunted house found on Google. The next step that I would personally recommend, there's ways to go about this, but get yourself an email address. That way you can fill in on that Facebook page an email for contact. You can have your Facebook Messenger have an email for contact if someone asks a question that you're not there to answer. You can have that email possibly on the Google page. I'm not 100% certain on that. But you can do this one of a couple ways. You can either do a free Gmail address. So you could do xyzhauntedhouse@gmail.com. It's not the most professional looking solution, but at least now you have email. It's a whole lot better than nothing. For a little bit more money, you can go into Google Suite, which is a Google for Business option. And I believe it's $9, $10, $11, $12 a month. It's not that much. You can then get a Google business address. So it would be your name at xyzhaunt.com or support at xyzhaunt.com, tickets at xyzhaunt.com, whatever you want it to be. With this, you're buying a domain name, which you can do through Google. It's rather easy that way. You can get them from a couple different services. I like GoDaddy myself, but you can do it. The easiest way is to go get yourself a Google Suite account, which is just a Google business account. Go from there to set up a domain, which is an option in the Google business account for setup. Buy your website address. You want to try to get yourhaunt.com. If you can't get that, try yourhauntandyourstate.com, so xyzhauntnj.com for New Jersey. Or maybe your town name. You don't want your web address to be too long. You want it to be short, memorable, easily spelled. That can cause issues. And you really want to try to get .com. Yes, there's .info, .us, .nj for state, or so on and so forth, but .com is still ubiquitous, so that's what you want to try to get. Obviously, you're not going to get trailofterror.com or hauntedhayride.com, because I'm sure those are taken. If they're not, somebody should buy them now. But you want your haunt's unique name.com. Your next and possibly most important step after you have your Facebook page, you have your Google Maps business listing, place listing, you have an email address with a .com, is go and get yourself a website made. Now, as I'm recording this, it's October 3rd. You don't have time this year to have a professional make your website. It's too late for that. Unless you plan to pay a large sum or have a very basic site made, the professionals most likely do not have time. If they say they can do it, hold them to it. Make them sign something giving you a date, because you want to be searchable well before your haunt opens. And I guarantee you that as soon as the cool air comes through and the first week in October hits, people are going to be searching for haunts. That's just what people do this time of the year. It's what we want them to do this time of the year. And you need to get on Google listings for your site as soon as possible. And unfortunately, Google takes a little bit of time to find, index, and post new sites to searches. So you have to do this absolutely as soon as possible. There's several different services where you can make your own website at. All of these will let you make a site and get it posted same day, usually within a couple hours, even if you're not too handy with web editing, things like that. Nowadays, there's, of course, the text editors are always out there for people that know HTML, XML, programming languages, all of that fancy stuff. I know those, and I don't even use them anymore because it's so much easier to use a what you see is what you get editor. Drag, drop, click a box, type text here, drop a picture there. What you do on screen in front of you is what comes out when you publish the website. For the most part, for a first-time website builder, I would recommend something like GoDaddy Website Tonight. Wix makes a great website builder. They have one, it's the automated site intelligence builder, something like that. I don't like that. It built a website for you, but it usually doesn't turn out so well because they don't have a template for haunted houses. Not that I'm aware of yet. But Wix's normal editor is great. There's other sites out there. You can Google website creation. There's tons out there. But you want something quick. You want something easy. Google Sites is another great one. A lot of people don't realize this. Our Ocean View Trail of Terror website, oceanviewtrailofterror.com, is hosted on a free Google Sites page. Now, I have our oceanviewtrailofterror.com domain name, which was registered through GoDaddy, points at, it's something like Google/sites/OV Trail of Terror /page. But oceanviewtrailofterror.com takes you to that Google site. So once you get into one of these website editors, build your site. It doesn't even have to be fancy. Obviously, you don't want it to be a 1980s site what am I saying, 1980s, 1990s site full of text and little GIFs and horrible images. You want to stay away from stock images even. I mean, yes, sure, your logo, a background, things like that are okay. But make really sure that your logo is original and unique. Because if you use the same logo image as another page, that is going to destroy your search results and confuse the heck out of your patrons. This haunt I'm referring to in Philadelphia is using the exact same title image as another haunt in Maryland with the same name for one of their shows at their haunt. Don't know who took whose image, but that is going to confuse patrons. They're going to think if they look up that site, or rather that haunt name, and see the Maryland, oh, that haunt's in Maryland, I'm not going to it. Even though it's in their city, it just happens to be the same image, which there's some plagiarism issues there as well, copyright issues. Not getting into that, just don't do it. Be original. There are sites out there like Fiverr, Fiverr.com, where you can have original graphic design made for you for cheap and quickly. Most of their stuff turns around in 24 to 48 hours, some even less. If you can draw something on a napkin, upload it. A lot of the artists there for $5, $10, $15, $20 will crank out some gold for you. Our Ocean View Trail of Terror logo, I believe I spent $10 on that on Fiverr, and I am in love with the thing. So that is where to get custom images made, Fiverr. If you know any college students, local graphic artists that are young or whatnot, they'll usually work a little cheaper as well. If you go to a pro shop, you're going to pay quite a bit. You'll get great quality content. I mean, it's totally worth it. But right now, we're just trying to get you online this October to get your haunt going now, hence Emergency Podcast. So when you're making your site, obviously, original content, you want pictures of people and scenes because you want to sell a product. And your first year, you can get away with stock images because maybe you don't have pictures and scenes or pictures of people and scenes yet to market with. Your second year, you need to have some real content, preferably even videos embedded if possible. And when I say videos, not stock videos, which you can get those made on Fiverr. They can look cool, but you need real content. People want an idea of what they're going to go spend their money on. Beyond that on the site, once you have your real content, your hook, that has to be on the front page. You have to hook people and get them interested on the very first page because most people will not go past the first page on a website unless you've made them interested and hooked their interest on that first page. The next few pages, obviously, your location. You should have that on every page of the website in the header or footer so they can quickly and easily find where you're at. They should be able to quickly and easily find your email address. If you have a business phone number, it needs to be there. If you don't have it, that's all right. There is a danger here. If you put a phone number online, bots are going to find it, and you're going to start getting telemarketer calls like you won't believe. However, if you are a bigger business, you do need to have a contact us option available. So either a form that goes to someone's phone or email that's going to be answered immediately, or a phone number. As a charity haunt, we don't have a phone number. You can find it if you dig around, but honestly, that goes to a phone that people aren't really going to answer. I hate to say it. That'll go to voicemail, we'll get back to you eventually. Nowadays, most people don't have too much of an issue with using email to contact, but you have to stay on top of that email. Make sure that plugs into your phone and goes to you or somebody who is responsible and able to answer questions about the haunt. The other questions your site needs to answer are when you're open, who should be there, so is it appropriate for children, is it for adults, is it for 12 plus, teens plus, whatever, because they need to have a general idea of what they're getting into. You need to know the type of haunt. Is it a house? Is it a trail? Is it a hayride? Is it handicap accessible? If it is outdoors, is it open if it rains? If it is indoors, are they in a covered queue line outside? Are they waiting indoors? People need to know so they can prepare to come to your attraction. You should probably have your rules posted so again people aren't coming unprepared. If you're an outdoor trail and there's mud, you don't want people showing up in high heels or open-toed shoes. That's a big issue for our attraction. If there is touching allowed by the actors to the patrons, that needs to be out there. If you have a, obviously, extreme haunt, you really need to advertise that. If it is a very gentle kids-only show, advertise that. People need to know what they're getting into, A, before they spend the money, and B, just so they're not disappointed. Also, don't make promises you can't keep. Don't say it is a 35-minute walkthrough, because some people are going to run through in 15 minutes and some people might be in there 35 or 40 minutes, unless you can keep that promise because you have a tour guide and the walkthrough is paced. Keep that one in mind. A few other important components on a web page are if you have tickets that you can sell online, that's fantastic. We use HauntPay, or at least we're attempting to use HauntPay for our Ocean View Trail of Terror, for zombie paintball tickets, and for VIP fast passes. HauntPay has the best fees I've personally found, hauntpay.com, although I'm sure there's other options out there. I think there's Fear tickets, there's Eventbrite, things like that. Check pricing. But if you can sell your tickets online, that's fantastic because you're making money before people even come in the door. Again, make sure you can hold up on the promise, though, that the tickets make. You should also have social media links on your website. So once you have your Facebook, make sure to link to that. If you go further and have a Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, any of those other pages, link to those as well. Any outgoing traffic from your web page or incoming traffic to your web page is good for your Google rankings on any of those sources back and forth. The more traffic to your content, the better off you are. The more interactivity people have with your site, the further they go into it, the more pages they view. That's all very good for your site. So in sum, that was a crash course, nowhere near complete, but for a October build season emergency podcast, hopefully halfway decent. So get yourself a Facebook page, post your event on that page, have yourself, your actors, your staff all share that around, invite people. Don't spam people, but invite friends and family and they can invite others. Get yourself listed on Google Maps, set up a Gmail account, preferably with your own .com. You have to get your .com one way or the other to get your website out there, so you might as well have your name or support whatever at hauntxyz.com, and then get yourself a website. Again, those easy creators are quick and easy nowadays, and some of them are even free if you don't mind it saying this site powered by Wix.com, this site powered by Google Sites, or whatever at the bottom of the page. You don't want to do that permanently unless you're a charity haunt, but for first year, just to get yourself up and running, totally worthwhile, and it's a ton better than nothing. So I hope this helps. Again, if you're not online nowadays, as far as your customers are concerned, you don't exist. So get out there, get online. There's plenty of links below the YouTube video or the podcast listing for the different sources I mentioned. Feel free to reach out to us. I can't commit too much time this time of the year, unfortunately, but if you do need some help, I can send you in the right direction. If you need more than some help, I can do some basic setup and website building for you this time of the year, but I'm very crunched for time. Once November hits, I can do all you need for next year, but I've got a haunt to build as well. So I hope this helps. Hope you get people through the door with it. And for the site, or rather the haunt that I was referring to in this podcast, no hard feelings to you at all. I wish you the very best. Indeed, that's why I made this podcast, so that yourself and others like you can get out there, get on the internet, get people in your door, scare their pants off, have a good season, and make some money while doing it. So, happy hauntings, everyone. See you in November.
Thanks for listening. Go to haunttechtips.com for show notes and more.